Hello, my friend. I have been getting a lot of requests lately to talk about skincare ingredients that are good for different skin types. We've talked a lot about anti-aging products, so I thought we would focus today on my dry skin friends and how we can combat dry skin by really knowing what's in products, so when we go into the store, we can look at an ingredient list and be like, yes, this is a good one. So no matter what the price point you're looking for, I am sure that I have some great recommendations for you. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you're one of my dry skin beauties, hang tight. We're getting into it right now. Before we get started, I do want to give my disclaimer that I am not an esthetician or a dermatologist. I am a skincare enthusiast. I absolutely love to learn about ingredients just in general, but especially skincare ingredients. I have so much fun researching. I read scientific journals. I read reputable blogs. I have recently discovered Dr. Dre. If you have not seen her YouTube channel, definitely check it out. Gothmista is another excellent YouTube channel from actual skincare professionals. And I've learned a lot from them and my research, and I've kind of compiled all my dry skin research for you to share with you today. So even though this is my personal top 5 for dry skin issues, take my order with a grain of salt in that it is based on my personal research, not based on formal education. This video is separated into 3 sections. I'm going to give you 5 awesome ingredients that you should be looking for, ingredients/ingredient categories, 5 ingredients that you should stay far away from if you have dry skin, and then 5 tips to kind of add on to the ingredient information. So let's start with the dry skin ingredients that you should be looking for. The first one is humectants. So a list of humectants, I will leave that in the video description, but some of them are glycerin, hyaluronic acid, jojoba oil can act as a humectant, and its job is to pull moisture from the air into your skin or from the product into your skin so your skin can be more plump and hydrated. There is a little caveat with that one though, so hang tight. Don't stop watching there on humectants because I've got something else to say in a minute about them. Next up is a chemical exfoliator. If you have dry skin, you want to look for an AHA, which are either mostly glycolic acid, lactic acid are the most common, but you want to be really careful not to do too much if you haven't ever exfoliated your skin. We're looking for like no more than 5% to start. One product I really love as a starter AHA is the Pixie Toner. I will put a picture of it there for you so you can see what it looks like. It is a fantastic way to start into chemical exfoliators. And what it does is it helps your skin to kind of slough off the dry, dead skin cells on the top so that your fresh, hydrated, beautiful skin can shine through. Another ingredient you may not be as familiar with are ceramides. And the way Paula's Choice describes ceramides, which I thought was a really good description, is if you think about like bricks on a wall, ceramides are like the mortar that's in between the bricks of your individual cells. So what it does is it helps to not let the water escape from your skin. And of course, as we get older, our skin naturally produces less ceramides. The scientific community is still working on researching it, but there is some evidence to suggest that topical application of ceramides can help encourage and tell your skin cells, yeah, we want to keep producing these ceramides so that the skin can be healthier. CeraVe is a brand that advertises ceramides in their skincare, and it is a more affordable skincare brand. The only thing is I did read an article that talked about how cheaper ceramides, that there's different qualities of ceramide basically, and I'm not sure the quality of ceramide that CeraVe uses, so it'll be one of those where you might have to do a little trial and error. Number 2 is safflower seed oil, and there's actually quite a few oils that do help your skin to stay hydrated, but not all oils can actually improve hydration in your skin. Some of them just kind of make the top of your skin feel hydrated where they're not really making your actual skin feel hydrated. But the benefit of safflower seed oil is that it's high in vitamin E, and also there's some evidence to suggest that it can help protect us against free radical damage and sun damage, which is super awesome. Like a lot of oils, it does also help to keep any moisture that's already in the skin or moisture that's been collected from humectants. It helps to kind of hold that into your skin. It's also very high in linoleic acid. It helps to maintain the health of your cell membranes, and it also helps your cells to use the nutrients that you're giving it appropriately and well. I also did read that this is a really great ingredient combined with vitamin C. A very close one that I also wanted to mention was sunflower seed oil. It's very similar in use to safflower seed oil as far as how your skin reacts to it. And if you're on a budget and you can't afford the more expensive ceramides, then this may be a great alternative because there is some evidence to suggest that safflower seed oil does also encourage ceramide production, which is amazing. And the number one ingredient is one that before I started doing this research, I didn't know a ton about, but I am really, really impressed with it. And it's called urea. And I know that sounds really weird because it is. There's actually been studies where people have taken their urine, their own physical urine, and used it as a toner, and apparently it works well because of the urea in your own urine. And that's a real thing. But thankfully, we don't need to use real urine in order to get urea in our skincare products because it can be chemically manufactured and be of the same quality as the naturally produced urea. But the question is, why is this ingredient so good for dry skin? And the reason why is because it is a really good moisturizer, but it is also a very mild exfoliator. So it's going to exfoliate your dry skin, but it's also going to help your skin to retain that moisture. Think of urea as like a bra extender in the back. Your bra is a little bit too small and you want to make it a little longer, so you get one of those goofy little bra extenders, but it works, right? That's kind of what urea does with your cells, is it helps your skin to have the ability to hold more water. And as we get older, our body is holding less water, so the more we can hold more water in our skin, the more plump and youthful our skin's going to look and the more hydrated it's going to be. So when we're using a product with urea in it and then comparing that with a humectant that we talked about first, where our skin's gonna be able to hold even more water, which is awesome. Now that we've talked about some positive skincare ingredients, let's talk about the ones that we want to avoid because we don't wanna backpedal. We wanna keep going forward. We don't wanna go backward. And the first one is gonna be an obvious one if you've watched my videos for a while. It's denatured alcohol, which is my least favorite ingredient in skincare. It is terrible for people with dry skin. If you use setting spray on your face and you do have dry skin, keep a lookout to see if there's denatured alcohol in it. What denatured alcohol does is it actually deteriorates the skin barrier. So all of that building we're doing with our skincare to try to strengthen our skin's barrier, that denatured alcohol is going to back us up on that journey. And like the urea was like your bra extender, I don't know what the opposite of that would be. Like getting a bra that's too small. The denatured alcohol actually makes your skin not able to hold as much water. So it's really, really bad. The next one is one that really it's when it's in a higher use, but it's something that I personally like to avoid in all of my skincare and my hair care, and it's sodium lauryl sulfate. There's Laureth and then there's Laurel. Laureth is still kind of, like it's not great, but Laurel is the really one you want to stay away from, especially if you have dry skin. Number one, it can be sensitizing, which is not good. And number two, it can alter the way your skin holds water again. If you have dry skin, probably a major job of your skincare routine is to slow down something called transepidermal water loss. And sodium lauryl sulfate is going to make your water loss increase. Speaking of water. Dance party break. Party in the house, party in the house. One ingredient that's really good for more acne-prone skin that you probably want to avoid is benzoyl peroxide. That is a treatment for acne. And if you have, there are people that have acne-prone skin and dry skin. I still see if you can talk to your dermatologist and see if you can find an alternative to benzoyl peroxide. If your dermatologist recommends it, of course, go for it. But that's one that can lead to dry patches. So I always say, based on my research, if you're using benzoyl peroxide for an acne treatment, to just use it on spots so that you don't dry out all of the skins that you don't want to dry out. And the last one I want to mention are fragrances in your skincare. Of course, we know that fragrances can be skin sensitizing, but the thing is like for me, when I'm spraying on perfume, when I use products with fragrance in them, I'm thinking, well, you know, I don't really see any damage. But the problem with fragrances in skincare that I know I need to do better at, it's one of those things that gets worse over time. You may not be able to see the damage that the fragrances are causing until later on in life because they happen at the lower layers of your skin. And that damage is cumulative over years and years and years. So even though you may not see it now, you may see it later. And the big thing about fragrances and skincare is it's a lot of times it isn't just listed as fragrance, which we never even know when it's listed as fragrance what the world the fragrance is, or parfum. We don't know what the parfum is. I'm gonna go ahead and list on the screen and also in the video description some common fragrances that are known to be irritants and known to be those fragrances you really don't want in skincare. Most citrus-based fragrances are not good for your skin. And then my final section are some tips of things that you can do in addition to your skincare or along with your skincare to help your dry skin. And one of them, of course, is drinking more water. And if it lights up, then even better. And we all know any doctor is gonna recommend that you drink more water. The next one is what I kind of alluded to in the very beginning about humectants. So for example, these two products were sent to me for review, and I am kind of thinking about doing a comprehensive review on these and maybe even comparing them. These are the Good Molecules products and then the products from Makeup Revolution or Skin Revolution. I'm not sure what they're calling it, or just Skincare, Revolution Skincare Line is what they're calling it. These are those like the ordinary type products where they're very basic. They have very basic packaging. They don't have a lot of ingredients. These are humectant based products. So this one is 5% lactic acid and hyaluronic acid. And then this one is a hyaluronic acid serum. These are wonderful products, but the problem is, especially if you live in a dry environment, if you're using just these without any other products, then you may be doing more harm than good. And the reason why is when these go down into your skin, they're gonna pull water from wherever they can. So if it's in the air, they're gonna pull the moisture from the air, but if it's not in the air, they're gonna pull the moisture from the lower layers of your skin, which is not a good thing at all. So what you're going to be looking for to pair with these is something called an occlusive, okay? The occlusive is kind of like the lid on the jar. It's kind of like the saran wrap over your leftovers. It is the thing that keeps the moisture locked in. Again, I will put a list for you so you can know what to look for. So if you do decide to purchase these, make sure you're also using it paired after you use this. You want to pair it with a moisturizer that's going to hold all of those humectants into your skin so that they don't just pull the moisture from the lower layers of your skin and then evaporate into the air. The opposite of drinking a lot of water, of course, drinking alcohol can damage your skin along with smoking cigarettes. Those can significantly dry out your skin from the inside out. You'll hear all of the skincare YouTube channels are always saying put on your sunscreen, and if you have dry skin, don't ignore your sunscreen. The damage from the sun does over time damage your skin's barrier, and it will mess up the way that your skin holds water, and those ceramides that bond your cells together make them weaker. So we want to take care of our skin, making sure we use our sunblock. And the last one is, I also kind of touched on this, is don't over exfoliate. There are some products that have glycolic acid as the #1 ingredient. And you can damage your skin. So when it comes down to, you can do more harm than good. So if you've never used a chemical exfoliator before, just be careful. Go in easy. Start with that 5% or less amount of chemical exfoliator, and then slowly work your way up if you feel like it's not effective. Just because something is more powerful doesn't mean that it's necessarily better for you and your individual skin. All right, collective brain. At this point, it is your turn to educate us in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness down in the comment section down below. I've gotten a lot of compliments recently from licensed dermatologists, estheticians, scientists on my research, but I do not pretend to know everything. And if you know something more than me, if there's something I didn't mention that you want to mention, an ingredient that really helps you with your dry skin, or products that really help you with your dry skin, leave those in the comments down below so we can all learn from you. Let's all work together so we cannot buy crap and buy things that are totally worth it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up before you go. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Mad love to you, and I will see you in a video very, very soon.